Hi, Tim Biggam back again this week for Traders Exclusive, and a big rally so far this morning. Certainly in the Dow and the S&Ps. The NASDAQ a little bit weaker here. Had some revenue warnings, some guidance shortfalls from Intel. Have Microsoft down sharply as well. So those two weighing on the NASDAQ along with Apple, whereas the S&Ps and the Dow charging higher here, and it's really that trade-off. We have more kind of free money coming to the table. We had two more companies lowering interest rates. China looking like they're about ready to loosen up the gates even a little bit more here. So that free money parade seems to be endless, and until it stops, I think, maybe not go long for the ride, but it will put a floor somewhat in this market here. So I'm still continuing to look to sell out of the money call spreads, certainly on this rally we have today. Even though the VIX has come in, I think not a bad opportunity position, about one standard deviation out of the money, about 6 weeks in time here. Before that, we did have the first kind of meaningful back-to-back kind of down days in a while here. So we're right back in the middle of the trading range until we break out to, fresh all-time highs or break kind of that 1900 level on the S&Ps. I think we'll be range-bound here, to say the least. So going forward, I look again, as I've been talking about, not being as tactical, being a little more opportunistic, using the option scanners again over at RB Trader. And we saw a couple of little anomalies here. What I like to see is big call volume with, big implied volatility jumps, because normally implied volatility on an up move in the stock will come in. In this case, I actually saw something a little obtuse as well on Kraft, KRFT. We saw big volume, unusual activity on Monday in the June 67.5 calls, about 5,500 traded. Stock was down 71 cents on the day. The calls were actually up a dime. So you saw the stock going down, these way out of the money calls going up just because of that buying pressure. Rumors of maybe Warren Buffett taking a stake. But what I did was simply lean with the paper, I called. I came in, bought some Kraft, sold these what I deem to be, very rich call options, and just look for that trade to realign here. So I'm leaning with the paper and looking to capture some of that volatility. So it's a combination of a bullish flow trade along with volatility capture trade. Another one we saw yesterday was on Hollycorp. HFC saw some big volume on the May 40 calls. Again, implied vol went from about 38 to over 42 on these, on the March 40 calls. So those that expire regular ways. So selling those and then buying the following week's March 40 calls, just looking for that stock to realign. I'm selling a 43 vol, buying a 40 vol. Normally those vols tend to ride side by side. So I got about an 8-cent edge on a 22-cent spread, which percentage-wise I really kind of like that trade. So going forward, I'm certainly going to be looking at using more of these kind of option scanning tools over at RB Trader. And if anyone wants some of the kind of research out there that I'm doing on this, or some certainly trade research, you can email marketing@rb-trader.com, ask for Mark and say I want the Delta Desk research report, and they will certainly provide that to you. So until next week, this is Tim Biggam. As always, keep those position sizes in place and those stops going. Take care.